Welcome to Soul Nutrition, where we discuss the various ways of nourishing our souls. I'm your host, author, speaker, and coach, Raina Rose. Today I'm coming to you with an extra mini episode about what has been on everybody's minds these days. The pandemic that is the COVID-19 or coronavirus. Well, the first thing I want to remind you is that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. That being said, we must also know our facts. I encourage you to go to the World Health Organization websites and the CDC Center for Disease Control websites for your most up-to-date and accurate information. I want to encourage you to be an embodiment of Christ's peace here on earth. He said, "My peace I leave with you, peace not like the world gives." We have a peace that surpasses all understanding. And I encourage everyone watching this video to really embody that peace in a time of confusion and chaos. In a time where we see empty shelves and shutdowns and quarantines, can we shift our perspective? I took a walk around my neighborhood to get out of the house yesterday, and I saw for the first time children I didn't even know lived in my community. I saw a dad on his driveway playing basketball with his sons. I saw parents chasing their children on bicycles, all because families were home together for the first time, and I've lived here for close to a year now. This is something to be celebrated in the midst of this confusion, in the midst of this pandemic. I've seen friends reaching out to other friends to watch their kids while they have to go to work and to exchange the favor and to work on their schedules so that they can make sure all their kids have childcare. I have seen families growing closer and talking to each other more. These are good things in the midst of a dark time. Right now, we're in the Lenten season, and I heard one of the priests telling the congregation that the Lent season is a time of bright darkness. It's a darkness, but we know that the resurrection is coming. And so in this time, we don't know exactly what's coming, but we see measures being taken to stop this pandemic, to get it to slow down, so the cases stop spreading. We can rejoice in hope, faith, and love that God is present in this time and that we have hope and a future. So what can we do both practically and emotionally? Because there's two components to what's going on right now. One is the real disease and deaths that are happening that we're seeing on the news, and the other is the stress and panic and overall confusion that's happening in our society. There is also a spiritual element to all of this. So what we can do practically is, of course, be kind, first of all, and reach out to those who need it. Bring canned goods to your loved ones, and especially if they're elderly, keep your distancing and sanitation. We can look at what the World Health Organization says as our 5 steps to stop the spread of this disease. So the 5 steps are hands, first of all. Wash them frequently. So let's wash our hands. Of course, I think we're all starting to do this. Let's keep this habit up even into the next flu season so that we'll have even less deaths from the flu and from the COVID-19. The other one is cough into your elbow, not into your hands. or into a tissue, but dispose of the tissue right away. Another thing that I've always done is I've kind of coughed into my clothes just to keep all my germs to myself. And so just keep those droplets from spreading onto other people. And if you are sick, you wear the mask. Although if you're not sick, the mask won't help you because the droplets get in anyway. It's just to keep sick people from expelling those droplets. So save the masks for the healthcare professionals, but if you are sick, wear one and actually just stay home. That's the fifth one. So cough into your elbow is number 2. Number 3 is don't touch your face. Another thing I've done all my life with my clothes is if I need to touch my face, I use the inside of my clothes because it's only touched me and it hasn't touched anything outside. It's just been touching me and I have my own germs already. So 1, wash your hands frequently. 2, cough into your elbow. And 3, don't touch your face. So number 4 is 3 feet apart. We're even hearing up to 6 feet apart now. So keeping that social distancing, but I encourage you, still smile, still wave, just keep your distance. It's a great opportunity for us to show love even at a distance, that the distance can't keep us from being kind and friendly to one another. And the last thing is, if you feel sick, stay home. So even beyond wearing the mask, stay home. If you're sick, order in, have stuff delivered to you if you can. There's still Amazon Pantry, although I heard it's being quite delayed. Or have a friend bring you some things. And of course, I want to encourage you to sanitize those things when they come to you. I've been washing things that I didn't used to wash the outside of an avocado, but I'm cutting into that. So I'm washing the outsides now as well as other fruits. This is just a time to be extra cautious of germs and viruses and to really pay attention to our hygiene of ourselves, our homes, and our foods. So those are some things that we can do practically, some things that the World Health Organization recommends that we do. And so what can we do for the mental side, for the spiritual side? Because that's another part of this whole equation. It's not just what's happening physically around us. There's a lot of tools we can use, and I've actually provided many of these tools for free and half priced on my website during the pandemic, just for anybody who needs extra resources to try to calm down during this time where everyone's very stressed around us. I've mentioned before my chapter in the book, Natural and Organic Healing. It's all about avoiding burnout, but the steps are for de-stressing. So I've made this available on my website. That's www.reina-rose.com as a PDF form for free during this time for anyone who needs tips on how to de-stress. I've also got a free intro coaching and some half-price coaching available for those who need help to de-stress in these confusing times. So any resource I can make available, I'm doing my best to make available. I'm also directing people to the CDC and WHO websites for their most up-to-date and accurate information, as well as I've just recorded about 15 minutes of scriptures that remind us of the faithfulness of God, that remind us how powerful He is and how He'll never leave us, how He heals His people. So I've got a new YouTube, and that's on the website as well, of things that you can listen to encourage yourself, and write the scriptures on your heart so that you remember the faithfulness of God. Because in this time, it can be easy to default to the stress mode that the whole world seems to be in. But we have been created holy, which means set apart. We can be set apart from stress mode, and we can go into faith mode. We can go into prayer mode. We can go into meditation mode, where we meditate on His word day and night. We meditate on His promises. We meditate on His faithfulness, and we find hope even in challenging times, especially in challenging times. We find our hope in Christ. And so I've got a lot of resources on my website. You can contact me. There's a contact form at the bottom. There's also more tabs to contact. I'm here as a resource for people who are looking to find peace in a stressful time. A few other resources I would like to recommend, and I have no affiliation with them. I just use these things and want to encourage you to use them as well because they help me in my own life, is a couple of different apps. So I'm sure you've seen the Calm app advertised. I've seen it everywhere. That's a great one. As well as an app called Happy, Not Perfect. It reminds us that life isn't perfect. We're not going to be happy every second. And that's okay. It's okay to feel stressed, and it's okay to feel out of control. It's okay to feel helpless. And the thing is, when we name that emotion, it often brings our body a sense of peace just to name what the actual emotion is. Instead of just spinning and feeling the stress, when we name, I feel helpless. When we name, I feel hopeless. When we name, I feel confused. It helps our body to calm down, gain homeostasis. And then this particular app, so it's called Happy, Not Perfect. You name your emotion. There's several pages to choose from. And it actually helps because sometimes when we're not used to naming our emotions, we don't have a very big range that we're used to calling our emotions. We just go straight to anger or straight to sadness, straight to stressed out, but we're really feeling something else. So you choose your emotion, and then it takes you through some breathing exercises to slow the heart rate, to slow the breath, and then into one last little thing to bring you out of the meditations and back into the world happier, more joyful, more peaceful, and to be an agent of peace in this world, because we are Christ's hands and feet, and He has left His peace with us. So we are blessed to be a blessing and spread that peace to the world. So I want to offer you that tool as well. I believe that one's free. There's another one that's $5, but it is worth every penny. It is called the 5-Minute Journal. And so the 5-Minute Journal is really a gratitude journal. And the thing about gratitude is when we're in gratitude, it is very challenging to feel stressed and depressed. We really elevate ourself when we're in gratitude. And so the gratitude journal just gives you 3 prompts of things you're grateful for in the morning, as well as an affirmation, and things that were amazing throughout the day at night, and then something you could have done better. And I love the app because I get to put a picture that I'm grateful for, whether that's a selfie or whatever it is. I love to include those pictures, and it just brings me even more gratitude as I scroll through those pictures. So again, let's band together and support one another in this time. Let's continue with kindness. Let's make sure we know our facts from the most reliable sources, and that we exercise good hygiene, our social distancing, and cleaning our surfaces all around us, which we should be doing all the time, as well as remaining calm, remaining in faith, remaining conscious. Another thing of our consciousness, real quick before I let you go, is when we are conscious about what we allow in our eye gates and ear gates. Sometimes we may want to put some boundaries on how much news we watch. And perhaps we catch up on a show that we like. Maybe Soul Nutrition might be that show. We catch up on a book that we've been meaning to read. Maybe something that's just for the fun of it. Catch up on our Bible reading. There's all kinds of things that we can do during this time of forced pause, when there aren't events to go do, when there is more time at home, that we can come out of this pandemic more conscious than before, more peaceful than before, more cleanly than before, and more connected to our loved ones than before. As always, thank you for watching this very brief episode of Soul Nutrition. May the Lord bless you and keep you, cause His face to shine upon you and keep away all evil, and nourish your soul.